Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Leighton's Loft. I am J5. I am not Leighton.
No.
It's actually stuck in traffic. You will be here with us shortly. Now, shortly could be from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yep.
We're hoping before 5 o'clock. I have the over.
You're taking the over?
I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
But it's 4:50. That's the time, 4:50 p.m.
Okay.
I'm taking the over.
We can do the interview. We have a guest today. We can do the interview today. It's no problem.
Yeah, I have you, Lou. That's all that matters. I know this is going to be more a podcast, so a lot of people can't see, but I did get a haircut.
Yeah.
Lou too. Lou, you got a haircut too, right?
A haircut too, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. We both made sure we were synced.
Yep.
So I want to talk about something I teased about in last night's episode of Vintage Breaks. We recently purchased a collection. Actually, we purchased it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. We purchased it. A lovely couple came in with this binder that I will show you in a little bit. Nobody has any idea what's in it. All I could tell you is that
they just walked in.
Yeah. Well, no, I made an appointment, but
yeah,
they came in and they just wanted to sell. I already spoke with them a couple of times before this, and they're very excited to have a professional look at it, which is, of course, Leighton. He saw the entire binder and made them an offer. They were very happy, and then we got the deal. So, Lou, make sure you tell everybody where to go to get an entry in our giveaway today.
Yes, there are going to be 2 shows each, 2 forms of this stream on the Vintage Breaks Facebook page and the Vintage Breaks YouTube page. You want to be on the one where the show is full screen, the second one that went up, and you comment on there, and your comments will be included in our giveaways for today. Or you can go to the Leighton's Loft Facebook page and comment there. Everybody on the Leighton's Loft Facebook page gets entered into the giveaway at the end of the show too. So make sure you're on the full screen version, not the one with the chat on the right hand side. You can go there after we're done and watch the breaking for tonight. That's why we do it, making an easy transition. But you want to go to the full screen feeds on Vintage Breaks Facebook page and on Vintage Breaks YouTube.
Thank you, Lou. I couldn't have said it any better. That was perfect.
Tyler says your job is awesome.
So I want to talk about Lou today is just a little bit. I would say I would take 10 minutes, no more than that, because I really want to talk about the collection.
Yep.
It's about our website, vintagebreaks.com.
They are, Ernie. They're dope. His comments are dope.
It's vintagebreaks.com. Now, Lou, how can I bring it up to the page?
You want vintagebreaks.com?
Yeah. Can you do that for us?
I can do that. Give me 1 second.
Great. And I'll walk through everybody, and Lou could be my right-hand man on this. What's up, Chef? Starting a watch party. I like it.
Yeah, we're on the Vintage Breaks Facebook page.
Guys, this is our website for those who are new. And for those who are, our regulars or OGs, as we call them. You guys already know a lot about the website. You guys have seen the previous website from 3 years ago compared to now. It's like mind-blowing, the difference. Like, it's huge. But
it's good.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about the bonuses and how they work, and also a couple of new features that we added to this new website, which the new people may not know. And that is, of course, we'll start with the the bar on top, which has all our home button, all products, all sports. You also have VB South, VB West. Shout out to Chris Gilmore for VB South and Charles Gilliott for VB West. Contact us and the FAQ, a very important page that everybody tends to skip and not read. If you guys have questions on how this works, if you have questions about shipping, questions about anything, majority of those answers you'll find in the FAQ page. If you want to contact us, please feel free to call us or email us. It is there for you to get, and has our schedule. We try to update as much as we can, but we talk about break credits, shipping information, international shipping, incentives, refunds, everything. Please check it out. All the way at the bottom, Lou, all the way at the bottom, you will have our contact information right there. Get in touch. Email us, sam@vintagebreaks.com. Here's our main contact.
I feel like white, just highlighting all the stuff you're talking about.
For general questions, Sam will take care of you. For shipping questions, vbshipping459@gmail.com. That is the email to use. Right now, we do have Emily looking those through, but it could be other folks in the office that could take care of that as well. In the future, yes. So that is our content. Of course, our phone number is right there as well. Just hit 2 on the option, and it'll come straight to us so we can help you out.
Great.
So that is our FAQ. Next, Lou, let's go back to the homepage. Por favor.
Yes.
There we go. If you scroll down, Lou, keep going. There we go. Keep going. There it is. The good old bonus meter. This has been integrated into our website. We're very proud of this. We have worked diligently with our developer to make sure this is looking perfect. And it's still not perfect. We're still adding more things to it, believe it or not. But the bonus meter, this is how it works. So, Lou, if you scroll down just a little bit more, there you go. Those are some of the bonuses that are running right now. Every bonus has an increment of different price values. For example, the $3 bonus that we have, if you spend $3 at checkout, you're going to receive 1 entry into this bonus. This is going to end on March 15th at 11 p.m. Anybody who spent $3 here in checkout, you get your entry, randomize the list. And if you want to know what prizes to get, Lou, you can actually hit prize detail, and it'll tell you the prizes. First place is going to get a $50 break credit to our website. Second place will get a 62 Topps Baseball separate spot. Third place will get a 1993 Topps First Series Baseball pack.
Nice.
An actual unopened pack to get Derek Jeter rookie card, hopefully.
Do you have to do anything when you spend the $3, or does this automatically happen?
Automatically happen. You don't have to worry about it. And when you do check out, you're going to get confirmation of which bonuses you are eligible for. So you'll get this in the checkout. It's like a little receipt there. So if you click out of here, Lou, if you spend more, for example, the $250 bonus that we have here, if you spend $250 at checkout, you're going to receive 1 entry into this bonus. It's a 1 week long bonus, Lou. Anybody who spends $250 will get automatically entered. If you spend $500, you get 2 entries, and so on and so on. This is going to be for a winner take all. Only one person is going to get these prizes.
Wow.
And this ends this Sunday at midnight. One person is going to receive, after the random, a $500 break credit to vintagebreaks.com. It is as good as cash. You're also going to get a 2020 Optic Football Sell-On Pack. Looking for those big rookies. 2020, Dougie, Joe Burrow, Tua,
Justin Herbert,
who won Rookie of the Year. Right? Yes. You're also going to get a 57 Topps Basketball Separate Mixer spot. As you guys know, we have a 57 Topps Basketball Separate on our website. A chance for someone to land on that Bill Russell rookie card, which is like 5 digits in that grade we have it at.
Wow.
And also a 500 high roller spot, which is you see at the bottom there, the 500 high roller spot. You click on that, Lou. The big prize for that one, anybody who spends $500 at checkout gets an entry. We need 1,000 entries to fill it up. Once it does, we'll randomize it. First person on top is going to get that 61 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 4. Gorgeous Mickey Mantle card right there. Looking all heroic. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now, can you accumulate your spending to get into this $500 spot, or does that have to be $500 at one point?
It has to be in one checkout. Yeah. Now, you may say, well, that's a lot of money, J5. I don't have $500 to spend.
Yeah.
No problem. We have small bonuses or bounties or other incentives that we actually give you a free spot into this bonus. So you can only find out when you watch live during our show. That is the best time to find out. We have different games that we play throughout the live show, like wheel spins. We have briefcases with prizes inside at random. We have bounties, and some of those bounties carry free spots into these high roller bonuses, as we call it. So there's different ways of getting in without spending $500 for checkout.
Nice.
And of course, one last one, the after party bonus event. So, Lou, we had our big event this past 2 weeks ago on February 28th. We call this the after party. So this ends at March 26th. It's a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going live. We're going to give away, for anyone who spends $100 at checkout, we're going to give away 3 prizes. First place is going to get a $1,500 break credit to vintagebreaks.com. Second place is going to get a winner's choice, either a 2019 Obsidian football box unopened, or a 2020 Bowman Sapphire baseball box, or a 2019 Prism basketball hanger box. Second place gets to choose the prize. Third place is going to get $250 of break credit. This is our after party bonus, and you have to spend $100 to get in. However, there are different ways of getting in. I'm going to explain to you that right now. Lou, today, Leighton usually gives away 7 prizes on every show.
Right.
All you have to do is comment on the Leighton's Loft chat here, which you guys are seeing right now. What we're going to do is the top 7, after we randomize the list, Dougie Fresh is keeping track of all entries.
Right.
First place, actually, I can't tell you first place because I haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
First place, I will announce in a little bit. Second place, you're going to get a free spot in our 1965 Topps baseball set break, which is going to be live shortly. 3rd through 7th are going to get free spots into our after party bonus. Ooh. So you don't have to spend $100. All you have to do is just chat it up. And I believe, Lou, if you start a watch party, you get double the entries, correct?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Well, you start a watch party, and then in our comments on the Leighton's Loft Facebook page or the Vintage Breaks Facebook page with the full screen video of the show, and the Vintage Breaks YouTube channel with the full screen of the show, you put hashtag watch party. And we do it on the honor system. We're hoping everybody's cooperating. But
I hope so.
Yep.
All right. I finished, and it's 4:45. That is perfect timing.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. So now let's get to the big juicy reveal. And then I'll explain to you what first place is going to get for today's giveaways. All right, Lou, let's switch up. Let's go to the big camera, the show and tell camera, I like to say. I'm going to turn this off.
Take the feed. Okay. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this binder, fresh collection of 1939 and 1940 play ball sets.
Holy cow.
Yes.
So that these people they made an appointment, but they came in and you had no idea it was in the binder.
I wish it worked that way.
Okay.
No, that's not the case. Okay. She sent me pictures. She gave me an idea what she had. She wanted a preliminary evaluation, which I provided for her. But this, like the entirety of the binder, we didn't get to see it through pictures. We only saw a handful.
Right.
So she just wanted an idea. And so when she came here and saw Leighton, boom, he just saw everything. He's like, yep, we want this collection. We made an offer after he went through all the cards. And she was happy, and we got it. So here's the thing. The collection itself belonged to the gentleman's father, who got it from a family friend, I believe. That's what it was.
We got Todd's attention. Todd's really into this stuff.
Oh, Todd's in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get Todd's attention.
So I wanted to mention, since now I showed what the big reveal was, Dougie, first place in the giveaway tonight is going to be a 1940 Play Ball Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
A Hall of Famer from the 1940 Play Ball set that's in the back here.
Holy cow.
Leighton's going to choose a Hall of Famer. He'll be here shortly.
So the Hall of Famer is yet to be determined.
Yes, yet to be determined. So you guys, all you got to do is chat it up on Leighton's Loft there. So the ones I wanted to show you, the one thing I wanted to show you is that the gentleman's father had no control of this. When he got it, this is the way he received it. But the family kept the binder for many years.
Yeah.
Every single card in the 1939 Play Ball, Lou, has been stamped. Stamped. And let me show you what I mean by stamped. As you can see, it has the actual dates. May 9th, 1941.
Stamped by the manufacturer?
I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
It could be by the store that was selling it. It could have been like a giveaway. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But the other thing is that in the back, the gentleman also put his initials on most of the cards.
There you go. Yep.
Which is JR.
Yep.
JR on most of these. So they have been stamped, and there is markings of the initial. Again, we don't know how or why, but that is the way they had it, and we just had to accept it for what it was. But the ones I wanted to show you, Lou, which I think our viewers are going to be very happy with, is of course, and let me just take it out from here. The first big reveal. There is Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, hi, Joe.
There he is.
Mr. Marilyn Monroe.
Very classic pose. Everybody loves his card. 1939 Playboy Joe DiMaggio. And there's the back. As you can see, there's a little bit of writing on it right there. And then JR on the top right corner. And stamped, of course. So we're going to get these that card graded by PSA, because if you guys know, PSA, it's just going to sell more in a PSA slab.
Sure, right.
So we had this
on the show last week, yeah.
Exactly, which I think Lee's going to talk a little bit more about today. And the other card I wanted to show you, Lou, that was part of this set as well. Let me just find it. Besides, there's other Hall of Famers in this set.
Sure.
But the two biggies is Joe DiMaggio, and he's hiding. There he is. Mr. Teddy Williams.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard him too, yeah.
I believe this is his rookie card, if I'm not mistaken. Dougie, can you... 1939 playable Ted Williams. Is that his rookie?
Daniel says Williams rookie is in the 39 set, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there it is. Stamped May 9th, 1941.
Yes.
Thank you, Dougie. There's the back, JR on the top right.
Yep.
So that is the collection.
Does the collection have different dates stamped on them, or is it all one date?
No, so far it all says May 9th, 1941.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that day.
You could see a kid stamping them the day he got them. You could see that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. But that's a 39.
Oh, Todd says Mo Greenberg is in there.
Oh, yes.
Greenberg and Moberg. I'm sorry, Moberg.
I'm sure there's a lot of Hall of Famers. But we get to the next set, which is a 1940. Mm-hmm. Now, I can assure you there's no writing on these cards. However, it seemed like it was part of...
Matthew says that's the date PSA received it and was still waiting on them back.
That's hilarious. The 1940
Dougie, give Matthew a second entry for that.
Dougie, give Matthew Townsend a second entry for that.
He deserves it for that.
Yeah.
He deserves it for that.
So as you can see on the Joe DiMaggio card, Lou, the corners have been pretty much seen better days. And that's because they were inside a album. You know those albums that have those four corners to hold the card? That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like it was just there for a long time, or the person put a little bit of glue in there so it won't move or it won't leave the pocket easily.
Yeah.
So all of these cards have that corner damage. You can also see the toning as well.
Yep.
Of where it's been. So there's Joe DiMaggio, and the backs, of course, clean as a whistle there.
Nice.
Because they've been protected. It was in the album the whole time. It's just the front of the card has those corner issues. And the other, got so many Hall of Famers here. Red Ruffing. Who else am I looking at here? Oh, of course. Who doesn't want to see Teddy Williams?
Who doesn't want to see?
There's Teddy. Looking young.
Another class. Yeah.
There is Teddy Williams. There's the back. Nice and clean. Just a little bit of edgeware corner as usual.
Beautiful.
But yes, this is the collection that she brought us. We were happy to evaluate it, of course.
Are any of those complete sets, or are they just parts of sets?
They both seem to be full sets. Yeah, I think they're full sets.
Nice.
Yeah, I couldn't go wrong. Also on here, you got Walter Johnson.
Oh,
Big Train, Walter Johnson here. Let me show you guys in 1940. There he is. This one's a little beat up on the corner as well. Walter Big Train Johnson.
great nickname, Big Train.
And right next to him, Grover Cleveland Alexander, another Hall of Famer.
Lots of baseball history there.
Was that his nickname? Oh, Pete?
I don't know.
I didn't know that. Wait. All right. Well, so guys in the chat, which Hall of Famer do you think Leighton is going to choose to give away tonight? If you know the set, you can also Google it.
That was smart of you not to ask which one you're going to get. Or you want to get.
Which one would you like to get? That's not Ted Williams, Walter Johnson, the big guys. I mean, that's a lot of Hall of Famers. So, which one do you think Leighton's going to choose to give away tonight? You can Google 1940 play ball set, and you get a whole checklist. There's Carl Hubble. There's Mel Ott.
Walter Johnson would be nice.
I bet it would be. It would be, Lou. Definitely would be. What are people saying? Jimmy Fox. That's a good one, too. Can I find him, though? Lou, have you heard a lot about these 39-40 play ball sets?
No, I don't know much about the play ball sets. Although, interestingly enough, for some reason, I recognize the back of the cards. The way the back of the cards are set up. I'm not sure where that comes from.
And of course, the 1941 play ball actually introduces color. There is color in those cards. The 1940 just has this nice border. It has a baseball bat or glove at the bottom.
Yep.
With the person's name. Mo Berg, that's a Hall of Famer.
Mo Berg fascinates me. Yeah.
Rick Lucian would like a home run Baker. Leo DeRocher from Ken Benowitz. Hank Greenberg with Nick Mattiacci. George Sisler from James Actor. What's up, James? The threat is on here.
Andrew wants Ted. Everyone wants Ted. Yeah. Or Joe DiMaggio, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, I could tell you safely that you're not going to get that.
Okay, well, good. Kill a little of the suspense.
Hate to break your hearts there, but yeah, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I was so
the
happy
threat
to
says
get this
George
back.
Sisler.
Oh, George Sisler. Yeah. Nancy Flavor color, just permanent color change on photo. Yeah, Daniel, pretty much. Yeah, just a little added color on him. So yeah, the guys, that was the collection we purchased yesterday. We were very excited to show it off yesterday, but I told Leighton, no, do not show it off until you get to Leighton's Loft because it's great content, and I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of comments on this. But to give away a Hall of Famer from 1940 play ball set of this collection, yeah, we couldn't do that last night.
It's interesting that you break up a set too, because you think some of the value of be keeping these cards together in a set.
Exactly. But we're doing it for you guys.
Yeah, nice.
For tuning in and watching the show or listening to a show. If you're listening to on a podcast form,
now that's on the internet, I want to take a picture of a couple of these.
Okay, just be quick.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take them out. I just want to.
So you want to get your friends in here and have them make a comment and get involved in this giveaway. They could win a Hall of Famer from one of these two sets.
All right, let's go back to full frame here, Lou.
Okay.
All right. Oh man, well, I'm so happy that we got that collection.
So who else is in the off list? It's not going to be Joe DiMaggio. It's not going to be Ted Williams.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many Hall of Famers. I mean, I don't know.
Who else on the list that won't be given away?
That won't be given away?
Yeah.
I don't know about Hank Greenberg or Jimmy Fox. I don't know. Mel Ott could be in that borderline. Mel Ott could be there.
Yep.
That's a 50-50, I would say. Leighton would choose either so, but definitely not Walter Johnson. Listen, if I get a free Hall of Famer from 1940 play ball set, I'm just happy.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. And I wish you guys in the chat good luck because I'm not winning. a 1940 Playboy card. So, luck to you guys.
When did that come in?
The binder?
Yeah. When did you
yesterday.
put yesterday? Oh wow.
Yeah, literally. The couple walked in here at 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Holy cow!
And they left at 7 o'clock. Yeah, and we got it done. I think that's when I announced it on the chat last night during the show. All right, 7-ish around there.
Should we bring our guest in, or we give Leighton another minute or two?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot we had a guest. No, yeah, let's bring in Greg.
All right, let's bring in Greg. Greg, welcome to the program. How you doing today? I'm Lou. That's J5. Leighton is stuck in traffic.
I hear you. Thanks for having me, guys.
So, Greg, were you able to listen to the story or the collection I just talked about?
I just caught the tail end of it.
Oh, okay. Well, are you familiar with the 1939 and 1940 play ball set?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So my Dougie here is taking pictures, but oh, thank you.
There you go.
But I'm sure you heard of Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams.
For sure.
Yeah, these are so the 1939 play ball set has Teddy Williams rookie card.
Oh wow! And did you just open that up right now?
Yeah, I don't know, Lou. You wanna?
Yeah, this was part of a collection that they bought at Vintage Breaks, which is in New Jersey, and people will contact them from time to time and say, I found a collection in the attic, or my father had a collection and would like to sell it, and they brought it to Vintage Breaks in a binder, and we just spent the last few minutes going over it. Apparently, it came in yesterday afternoon, and today on the show, we're giving away one of the Hall of Famers from one of these two sets.
Awesome, man. I don't know if I can compete with that excitement, but let's see what I can do.
Greg Larson is the author of Clubbie, a minor league baseball memoir, and we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, Greg. It's really, really interesting. I was just looking through. I read a couple articles about you, one from your hometown, by the way. Read that one, and that's where I got all the fun stuff. All right, so let's set up the book. You tell people about your role in the minor leagues and how the book came about.
Yeah, after I graduated college, I got a job as a clubhouse attendant with the Aberdeen Ironbirds, the then short season single A affiliate for the Baltimore Orioles, now high A affiliate for the Orioles. And I was a clubbie for them for 2 seasons. I grew up thinking that I was going to be a major leaguer, but as you saw in that article, I bet .091 my senior year of high school. Nobody wants to mention my 375 on base percentage, by the way, which was not included in that article. I want to point out. Yep. But I had no baseball skill whatsoever, but I always dreamed of being part of the game. And then lo and behold, all of a sudden I'm in a clubhouse, and there's this strange dynamic of I'm the guy washing the jock straps, I'm the guy cutting the veggies, and I realize I'm making 3 times as much money as the guys in the clubhouse, and yet I still want to be them. I still want to be a player on the field just like them. So it's this. Yeah. It's a huge central dynamic in this book.
All right, this is fascinating. I worked for a couple of years for the Lowell Spinners that were in the New York Penn League as well. And one of the things I found fascinating about it is such a mishmash of people and personalities and people in different places in their life. In June, there'd be the baseball draft, and these guys would show up in Lowell, and I'm sure in Aberdeen as well. And you got some guys from big-time college programs who are drafted, who are coming in to play a couple weeks so they can get their feet settled. And you've got guys who are at their high school prom just 2 weeks ago who are coming in and playing. And you've got minor leaguers among the coaching staff. You got major leaguers on the way down. It's a very wild dynamic, and people don't understand that these players coming in aren't making a ton of money. I'm not surprised you were making more than most of the players, but those clubhouses in the New York Penn League, because of those differences in personalities and backgrounds, are fascinating places.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we went to the playoffs my second season, I had a long argument with the front office just to get champagne for the guys, because more than half of them weren't of age to drink. So that was like a huge problem for them legally. And even the clubhouse, the facilities in the New York Penn League, I was at Ripken Stadium, actually lived in the equipment closet one summer just to save on rent. It's just me.
So you actually moved into the equipment clubhouse.
Yeah, that's how sucked into that world I got. I was in the equipment closet, a 10 by 12 room, no windows, just pine tar, rosin everywhere. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get out of this with my sanity intact. But Ripken Stadium had probably the best facility in the New York Penn League. Some of those Mahoning Valley, Batavia, guys would come back from road trips with bed bugs, literally. So I was grateful for the facilities there, but now that's why it's a high A affiliate, the Ironbirds.
Were you a traveling clubhouse attendant with the team or just at home?
I traveled the second season. The guys saw me as something of a good luck charm when we were on a playoff hunt, and they actually let me go on the field and take batting practice. Alan Mills, 12-year major leaguer, pitched batting practice to me like he wanted to add me to the list of his illustrious strikeout victims he's had in his career. Mark McGwire, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Greg Larson. He let me know that I could not handle his slider and his hard fastball on the inside. But, I mean, that was a blast. I wore a jersey for some of the games, warmed up the right fielder one game. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
All right. As I think you mentioned, I forget which article I saw that you mentioned it in, is these, I know that these clubhouse attendance positions don't come open. They are basically passed down. They're coveted positions. So how did you end up, you were from Minnesota at the time, right? How did you end up in Maryland, a clubhouse attendant for the Orioles affiliate?
Yeah, I grew up in Minnesota, which is hockey country, not baseball country. And even then, I couldn't get a starting position on the Division III college that I was going to. I got cut from that school in a matter of 48 hours during tryouts week. And so I transferred to a Division I school called Winthrop in South Carolina. And they gave me a Division I baseball scholarship, but it was a scholarship for washing jock straps with them. So then when I graduated, that was the only job experience I had. And it just so happens, I had no idea how rare this was. Just so happens that right when I graduated, this Clubbie job opened up on Aberdeen Ironbirds, their website. And it just was a fluke that was the only experience I had. And that job happened to open up. And I had no idea how perfectly the stars aligned until after the fact, when people were like, now, how did you get this job again? And I said, on a job board online. And they look at each other like, who the hell is this guy? And what is he doing in our clubhouse?
Now in Lowell, because Lowell, the ballpark in Lowell is very close to UMass Lowell, and a lot of the players stayed in the dorms during that period. And this roster becomes, and I'm sure in Aberdeen it was probably more. There were probably sponsors and foster families for these kids in many cases, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it becomes a very closed environment, and you as the Clubbie are a conduit for a lot of things for these kids, especially the underage kids with maybe some alcohol and whatever other trouble they can get into, and that had to present some opportunities for you.
Oh yeah, a lot of financial opportunities, particularly with memorabilia. I mean, I had a deal with the stadium clubhouse supplier, the beer supplier. I would give him a couple of bats, a couple of baseballs at the beginning of the season, and he would load me up with a bunch of expired Bud Lights that, he just would tell the Bud Light factory that just fell off the truck.
Yeah.
And so what I would do, I would take those cases of Bud Lights, and then let's say Staten Island Yankees coming to town, Lowell Spinners coming to town. I go to their coaching staff and say, hey, you guys want some booze? And they say, sure. I say, you give me some caps and some gear. And then because that was from another team, the caps and gear that they give me, it was more valuable to the stadium beer supplier in Aberdeen. So then I would trade the beer to the other teams. I'd get the gear, trade it to the beer supplier, and then I would take tips on the top, and I would have extra beer left over for myself and our coaching staff, so that I was living high off the hog all season long.
Leighton joined us. Leighton Sheldon is with us, and we're talking with Greg Larson, author of Clubbie, Minor League Baseball Memoir. We're just going over our old days in the New York Penn League.
Very cool, Greg. Well, thanks again for joining us today. Apologize for being late. This is the life we live, the life we have chosen. But thanks for joining us today. Really looking forward to checking out your book. And honestly, the first few minutes here, just to kind of be like a guest on our own show, just to listen to you for me being a few minutes late. It's pretty cool. It sounds like you just, if I may, being late to the party here, it sounds like in the beginning we're at the right place at the right time, but yet, you created your own luck by looking on the message boards as opposed to waiting to someone to come to you.
That's very true. I mean, it was a perfect opportunity plus preparation. It was 2011. There just weren't a lot of job opportunities at that time. And I thought, man, I could do a lot worse than working in professional baseball.
Yeah.
And I think the character development, because I have to look at myself and I look at the guys on the team as real people, but they're characters in the book as well. And when I look at my character in the book, I turn cynical. Like, I don't feel cynical about the game now, but over time I grew to see the game in ways that I didn't expect. Like, I would just wait for the games to get over because then I could finish scrubbing up the laundry quicker after the game. An out was an out. I didn't care who won or lost at a certain point. Started chewing tobacco, grew a crappy mustache, lost a bunch of weight. And I think that transformed my experience of the game. I came into it a little bit starry-eyed, maybe a little bit naive, and I saw, holy crap, there's a whole world, not just beyond what we see on a major league field, but there's a whole world beyond what we see on a minor league field. And it completely transformed my understanding of the game, I think for the better and for a deeper relationship with the game.
It's funny, that day-to-day grind, and I remember working in Lowell at the time, and there would be a rain delay, and it would just kill you. You'd be on the 8th game of a homestand, and that rain delay would come, and teams going on the road, and you're just going, man, I just want to get this game over with. I just want to go home. For
sure.
Too much time at the ballpark. But the thing is, when you get back to the ballpark the next day, it's kind of renewed. You always get that feeling back again.
Yeah, you almost forget about anything that happened the day before, bad, good. It's like a fresh start. And that even happens between seasons. There was some staff that Alan Mills, for example, our pitching coach, he was on the team both years that I was on the team. We're the only staff that left over. And, in the off season, I didn't hear from guys, but then when you show up during the season, if there are any guys that are coming back from the last season, it's like they've always been there. You just fall back into something easy. And I think there's something beautiful and tempting about that with baseball, where it's just so easy to fall into the orbit of the game.
Yeah, and talk about that pull, because, again, we've got kids who were at the high school prom 2 weeks ago who are showing up at the New York Penn League. You've got the Alan Mills of the world who are major league players who do not want to be in Aberdeen, coaching high school kids. That's just not what they want to be doing. But for some reason, the lure of the game keeps them there. They don't go home and work for their brother's roofing company, and they don't, and the high school guys get pulled out of their home in Nebraska, and they come to play baseball. And then not so much in the New York Penn League, but you got guys who hang on in the minors for years while they're into their family, making next to no money. But the lure of the game is too strong.
Yeah, it is this odd dynamic. Look, there's a part of it where those guys, that's their dream. And of course, I don't knock anybody for shooting for their dream, but there's this other aspect. There are some guys who hang on for years at a time because they don't have any other job experience. That's what they did their entire time in high school. That's what they did their entire time in college. And I feel like my experience was somewhat analogous, where if you got cut from the baseball team, you think, okay, now what? And for me, I just so happened to get a bug under my butt, and I started writing a book about it. And then all of a sudden I'm a writer. For a lot of guys, they go into insurance, and a lot of guys go into the police force. A lot of guys try to find that fraternity that they had in baseball in other fraternities in adult life. And I find a lot of them do that in firefighting and police work.
Interesting way you put that, Greg. I can't. I realize I didn't hear everything in the beginning, but when you were growing up, did you want to be a ball player?
Oh yeah, I had dreams of being like a scrappy second baseman who couldn't hit worth a damn, but was really good at defense, and that was my dream.
Yeah, so similar to your dream, I had a similar dream. I thought I'd hit with a little bit more power. I might be a little bit bigger than you, but I thought I could play the field. But nonetheless, it sounds like for either one of us, we didn't necessarily take that path, but still very much involved. Maybe you more directly with the game, but I thought it was something interesting that you just said, how maybe a lot of folks who played, whether it be it's high school ball or they go on to play college ball or somewhere in between, they fall off, right? You realize when you're a junior or senior in high school, you're like, hey, I am pretty good, but I'm going to be going to debt and go to college. And so what am I going to be doing? Or you get to college, you think you're going to play ball, you play the first year, your grades suffer. You're like, I'm not going to play pro ball. How am I going to earn a living? And so, it's interesting to hear you talk about how maybe former ball players, if they don't go, into that, they look for a fraternity of sorts in the way that you're talking about with insurance or a police force or a firefighter. And, it's just kind of interesting for me personally. I more just looked at it as because I wanted to play pro ball like yourself, just wasn't good enough. I think two things for me. One, seeing as how my son Crosby's only 6 now, whether it be he decides to, and I hope he's only 6, but he looks like a southpaw. And he's already got like a big leg up on everyone else if he's going to be a lefty. But all kidding aside, I think that those types of jobs, like, although they may seem great, if you're within a fraternity of folks and you have that camaraderie, I would encourage, and this is kind of, I got lucky, right? 20 years ago, baseball cards were thought of as like, you're an idiot. You're really going to use your college education to do that. But I just think that so much has changed that maybe today, if you have like those aspirations, like for my son who's 6, you're 12, you're 15, you love baseball, that because the internet has made the playing field, pun intended, right, more level, that you're going to be able to pursue writing a book like you did, right? And then maybe now that you wrote one, you're like, I didn't make as much money I wanted, but I really love it. And then you go on to write another one, or you talk to people about how to write a book, and you find something within that space that you just truly love. And I mean, I don't know what it is exactly about ball cards for me. Was it the commerce? Was it the history? Was it a little bit of, the freedom of being away from my parents at 11 years old and spending my own quote unquote money? I don't really know. But I'm curious, for yourself, like, where do you see the road going from here? Do you want to stay really close to baseball? Have you dabbled in cards at all? Do you think you're going to do another book? Do you want to teach people, about how to write a book? Because I have some friends that kind of have a different profession, but they wrote a book about a journey, and they, similar to what you just said, they enjoyed the process of it.
Right. I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? Like, baseball, this story with the Ironbirds is just the story that happened to find me at the time. I didn't go into that clubhouse setting out to write a book, but I just realized, wow, there's a lot of interesting dynamics here. Let me just take a bunch of notes. I had 285 single-spaced pages of notes at the end of those 2 seasons, and I thought, okay, I'm going to turn this into a book. And I never set out to do that specifically. And oddly enough, as far as, you mentioned coaching other people to write books, helping other people write books. I used to be a ghostwriter up until October of this last year, actually. So I'd ghostwrite books for CEOs, business leaders, lots of marketing type books, any niche business subject. I've probably either ghostwritten or edited a book about it. So I've definitely gone full on into the writing world. I don't consider myself a sports writer or a baseball writer. This happens to be the story that found me. I used to love going to the Twins games all the time. I grew up going to the Metrodome, which was just a very sad place to watch a baseball game. But when you're a kid, you don't know any different. And oddly enough, the only piece of memorabilia I have left from those 2 seasons is an Alex Schmarzo. I mean, I'm looking at this, his 2011 stats: 0-1, 4.91 ERA, 3.2 innings pitched. I mean, Alex, I don't care about Alex as a player, but Alex was my best friend on the 2012 Ironbirds, and he signed this card for me before he got moved up. And to me, he's not playing in the game anymore, but to me, this is the most valuable piece of baseball memorabilia I may ever have. And that's my connection to the game, is the people behind all of the memorabilia, the people behind the numbers. That's why I wrote this book, because those guys are such fascinating characters, and I just love learning about them.
When I was working at Game Ops for Lowell, we were trying to get walk-up music for Ryan Kalish, who was with the Spinners at the time, and we were basically yelling out of the press box to the field during batting practice, trying to figure out what he wanted for walk-up music. And he wrote this song from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on a baseball and threw it up to the press box. I've still got that baseball.
Right. That story is never going to leave you. So it's like, I love those moments, those anecdotes.
All right. Are you still in Austin?
Yes, sir. Still in Austin.
All right. So I've got some ties with the Round Rock Express if you want to go back to washing jock straps for a while.
I think that's the easiest no I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I figured as much. But
I can put in a good word for you. You're doing stand-up down there, right? Are you still doing the stand-up thing?
I was doing stand-up until about a month ago when I started focusing hard on the book promotions. But, I'd get out there and I'd sling a few jokes in front of a drunk crowd on a Tuesday night like anyone else.
like anyone else. No, that is the toughest thing in show business. I love stand-up, and I just love watching you guys. You're just up there with people and a mic, and what is it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, maybe a half an hour to fill. That's a manly profession right there, although I know women do it great.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Some of the shows that I was doing, you get 3 minutes, sometimes you get 15 minutes, and there is nothing more terrifying than having maybe 10 minutes of material and you got to fill up 15 minutes of stage time. That's frightening. And there's no, I might never see any of these people in the crowd again, but I'm thinking to myself up there, like, if I don't do this right, I'm screwed. Like, my life is over. You just can't get past that thought process. It's a tightrope walk. I love it.
Well,
Man, I'll tell you, I was feeling good about breaking and being live, like on YouTube and stuff. I have no experience prior to Vintage Breaks. I got to tell you, man, you may have just put me back into a slump. Like, I'm all of a sudden now nervous. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, what am I going to talk about? There's, I don't know, 11 minutes left. They got 3 minutes of material. It's a big freaking problem.
I was just going to tell them stay out of radio then, because that's a day-to-day occurrence. It's like, I got a 3-hour show every day. I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about for 3 hours.
Well, you guys can't do crowd work either. I can lean on the fact like, hey, where you from? And that would kill a couple of minutes.
Well, it's talk radio. We do a little crowd work. That works out.
True.
Yep. All right. So tell everybody where they can get the book.
Get the book. It's Clubbie, a minor league baseball memoir. I have a bunch of extra content. Pre-order the book. It comes out April 1st. Go to clubbiebook.com. That's CLUBBIE book.com. And we have all kinds of fun content, interviews with players. I have a bunch of written content. It's a good time on that website.
Did you ever meet Cal while you were there?
Cal Ripken Jr. was my boss for 2 years. He was like Bigfoot. I saw the dude twice, never introduced himself. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. His mom got kidnapped in the middle of the 2012 season, my first season there. So I think he had a few other things on his mind at that point.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that could be a whole episode in and to itself there. That's crazy.
Take a minute and expand on that story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand you dropped it in there. You don't explain.
His mom got kidnapped. The messed up part about it, Cal Ripken Jr., his mom was kidnapped from their home. They never found out who did it. He just tied her up, drove her around the Aberdeen area for a few hours, and then dropped her off back at the home. Cal put out a $100,000 reward. The FBI was in on it. They have since never found any details. Val, his mom, actually passed away a couple of months ago. And so that whoever did that, they don't know if it was a ransom. They expect that it was someone who just didn't know who they were kidnapping. But that was a messed up summer, man, because there was a lot of Ripken family in the Ironbirds front office, so their minds were elsewhere that whole summer.
Well, we wish you luck with the book, and we appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, guys. It was fun.
Absolutely. Greg, please do me a favor. Drop me an email with your link where they can order your book direct, because I love that it's not on Amazon. And, no knock to Amazon, but they got enough business of their own. So what I'd like to do is an email later this week that we send out for our company, Vintage Breaks, on a daily basis. I'd like to plug your book in one of our emails and give them the direct link to where they can order the book on the pre-order and, see all that great content that you had mentioned.
And I'll put up the link right here for everybody who's watching, so they can go directly and order the book.
Awesome. I appreciate you doing that, Lou. And before you leave, Greg, I wanted to show you my own piece of priceless memorabilia. This is my seat. I don't know how well you can see it. This is the seat that I was sitting on from the 1996 Yankee World Series Game 6 in the bleachers. And, that could be a whole episode by itself also. But at the end of the day, I was in college at Rutgers College, and, it was a lot harder to buy tickets for sold-out sporting events back then.
Right.
There were no apps. So, I had written on several dorm rooms, like those whiteboard those white erase boards. And basically, I remember I was paying $200 for a ticket. I didn't care where I sat. And shout out to my friend Nicole. She got me into the stadium. And certainly the rest is history. But, the Yankees, they didn't care so much about them. I mean, they didn't care about the memorabilia in the 70s, right? The 80s. But, the 90s maybe a little bit more. But still, there was such pandemonium because the Yankees hadn't won it in such a long time. And I had a big winter coat on, specifically a triple fat goose Jets coat. Put it under my coat, man, got into the streets. There was mayhem. It didn't matter. I could have had a bazooka, frankly.
So did you bring a wrench set and everything with you into the stadium?
No, this is what's wild. So to be fair, right, I'm not, my birthday's in November, and I definitely wasn't 21, but somehow I'm drinking beers at the stadium, and it's like the fifth inning, and something magical happened, Greg. I'm sitting on the stage, I'm like sitting down on it. It's a little loose. And at some point, right, people are getting up and you're stomping. I know you can't see my feet. You're stomping. And it's almost like in the movie Shawshank Redemption when he's going into the wall and he's like using his little thing and he sees that little crack. I'm like, wait a minute, the seat just moved. So it's the 6th inning and I got another beer, a few more peanuts. And I'm like, this thing's really moving. I wonder. And of course, by the 8th or 9th, you realize the Yankees might do this. I'm like, Jesus, criminy, man. I got to go home with this seat. It's meant to be. So at that point, I mean, I wish there was video. Literally, I'm like a complete savage. They talk about savage in the box. I have no tools. I have my hands that are definitely cold because of the winter. And to be fair, like maybe I asked, my friends, like, hey, could you do me a favor and take over for a minute and just keep smashing your foot? I mean, listen, I have no idea what it's worth, but I know that Crosby sees me talking about it at home, thinks it's hysterical. My wife thinks it's a piece of junk.
Right.
And for me, it's priceless. And to be honest, that's what makes baseball and the whole, whether it be you're on the collecting side, you're on the love of the game side, you just play, or really you're intertwined for both, like some of us here all chatting today. Those are the kinds of mementos that really are priceless.
Did you pull any piece of memorabilia out of there, Greg? In particular, if I've got my timeline right, you probably saw Trey Mancini down there and probably a couple other players. Anything that you've kept?
The only thing I really kept is this Alex Schmarzo card, but I got to tell you guys this really quickly. In 2013, we had Mike Yastrzemski and Trey Mancini on that team.
Yeah.
And what I would do is players, in order to get new bats, they would trade me their old broken bat, and in order to get a new one, it was an honor system kind of thing, they thought. But what I was doing is I was selling them up in the gift shop. Yep. They would sell them for $20 and I'd get a $7.50 cut. And what I realized is that I would just write the name of the player on the bottom on the athletic tape. And everyone just assumed that the Clubbie was going to be an honorable guy and wouldn't lie about whose bat it was. But what I realized is that Manny Hernandez, Sam Kimmel bats, they didn't sell. But if I wrote Yaz number 28 on it, or Mancini number 51 on it, they would sell like crazy. So there's just a swath of people up there who think they have Trey Mancini and Mike Yastrzemski bats. And I just completely lied about it. And I'm sorry, I know that's like that's not kosher, but I needed that $7.50, baby.
Well, listen, Clubbie probably wouldn't have happened without it. And I mean,
true.
Listen, at the end of the day, right? I just announced, I don't know, can the cops come after me? Grand larceny, what's his worth? Thousands? I have no idea. So at the end of the day, we live and learn and hopefully, become slightly smarter.
I appreciate that.
Greg, thanks for the time. We appreciate it so much. Good luck.
Thanks for joining us, Greg.
Thanks, fellas.
All right. That was fun.
Lou, that was great. I'm glad that I was able to catch most of that. So I have to say two things. Three things. First, please order Greg's book. Check out the link, Lou, if you could drop it in there. Second of all, it's definitely a problem. J5 now has control of my Google Calendar.
Oh, no.
I simply offered it the other day as a suggestion. You guys might say, like, wow, Leighton, you're like not even close today to on time. I don't want to like expand on it. We only have a few minutes here. Just say, I go to Sam earlier. I go, did you know that J5 now makes appointments for me? I don't even get told. I simply just look. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to be somewhere at a certain time. I'm like, oh, I wish I was told that.
Well, that worked both ways because when we were setting up the show before the show, J5 says, I don't know if we have a guest or anything. Yes, we have a guest. And I said, it wasn't my guest, too. It was Leighton's guest.
Well, believe me, I can tell you now, not only he'll I'm sure put it on Google, he'll be sending me a variety of messages. And then we're talking very briefly. And of course, I didn't understand the extent of exactly what he was saying to me on the phone, J5. But of course, we're super excited about this collection of play balls that we just bought yesterday. Was J5 going over that with you?
Yeah.
And I don't actually need you to answer because I know he was going over it with you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because this lovely book's right in front of me.
Yep.
So
the
interesting.
The big mystery is which Hall of Fame you're giving away.
We're gonna continue to go through it right now. But really, I tried really hard to pry out of them. Like, hey, how did the dates happen? Why was it every card? And like, if it's not enough, and I think last night my wife was sleep deprived, so I'm telling her about the collection, and she understands cards, and she goes, oh, they're all stamped. And so I have her all right. So she's like in her own mind, hey, Ted Williams rookie, gray card, like stamped. All right. And I go, oh, wait, you thought that was all? And I go, if it wasn't enough, he wrote JR, like Junior, on the back of every card. She starts hysterically laughing. She wasn't well.
Mike says you've got 2 wives now.
There's a crazy, speaking of multiple wives, there's a crazy special. And I want to know if anyone in our audience has watched it. It's on Netflix or HBO Max, one of those about the Mormons and some killings going on in the community. I just want to know if anyone knows on the series.
No, about it.
But
well, the stamp thing was interesting to me because I asked J5 if they were different stamps because I could see a kid with one of those old rotating stamp things. When he got the card, he'd stamp the date on it when he got the card, but they all have the same date on it, which makes it interesting. I don't know what the significance of the date is.
Well, to me, my first guess is, it seems fairly obvious, right? He got him on May 9th, 1941. When I say he, I'm not convinced. Oh, it's like a ghost. No, I didn't know he was right there. We were saying some things about you, just trying to share some stuff. So I wasn't over there before. I didn't realize it was over there. I'll have to just be careful in the future.
Connor,
So I'm thinking
how much the stamp diminishes the value. So maybe you could talk about that when you give me a theory.
Absolutely. So first, my theory is that whoever got the cards, May 9th might have been their birthday, might have been the day they just got the cards, and they're like, wow. I'm going to make sure that I stamp them all. And that's just what they did with, whether it be, someone gave them a stationary set, whether it be they got a train set. I just think that, people did weird things, right? Like I had the ugliest metal cabinet for my cards in my basement when I was a kid, and I can close my eyes and visualize it. Horrendous. But I put like stickers on it,
Yep.
What have you. Yeah, it looked great in my eyes. And the thing was disgusting. It really looked like.
And you're not thinking collector's items. You're not thinking big money item in what, 80 years? So you're not thinking that way.
No, not at all. So I think that it had to do with birthday or when they received the cards. In terms of what they're going to grade, this is my advice for anyone who has a question about, let's say, like a card with a qualifier, is like let's just take a random card here. If you think a common is going to grade X, meaning 5, and it has writing on the back or a stamp on it, then they'll likely put an MK. Right? So it'll be a 5 MK. And in terms of value, it affects it by about 2 grades. So depending on how valuable the card is, if it's a 5 MK, and that's what it grades, then I would suggest that it's going to sell for about a PSA 3 price. But sometimes a qualifier affects a card by 3 grades because, for example, if the stamp's really obtrusive and it's in the middle of the guy's face, Lou, maybe that'll be worth a little bit less money.
I gotta give Ernie some credit here. Ernie says, according to history, May 9th, 1941 was the day British intelligence at the Bletchley Park breaks German spy codes after capturing the Enigma machines aboard the weather ship Munchen.
Yep, I'm sure that was it. Absolutely. All right. So, every single one of them. I mean, he did not forget to put his initials. I did think it was a fascinating collection. Now, we certainly don't want to jinx it, J5, but tomorrow we have something tomorrow we have a couple, but tomorrow's something very interesting. Yes. So we can't talk about it further until we procure it. But Lou, this is like just the tip of the iceberg as to what we have going on.
Nice. So you're just going to tease us and just leave us hanging.
That's correct. Well, Lou, good radio is, hey, tune on in at this date and time in the future if you want to know the full story.
That's right. Stay tuned.
And by the way, if you want to know the full story on this collection, you want to see more images and such, all that info will be on our blog at justcollect.com/blog. I'm just picking out right now one of the
Daniel says the latest sale on a PSA 3 on Ted Williams 39 play ball rookie is $2,800.
Yeah, I have to check it out. I was looking at the here we go. There's a couple good ones. So we're going to choose a 1940 play ball Hall of Famer to give away right now from this collection. Can you put the death shot up here? Oh, yeah, absolutely. The little eyeball. I have to, J5, can you help out with that? Thank you, sir.
You get another look at these cards.
Yeah, no, these are great. All right, I think we're going to go with Chuck Klein.
Who's PD, David? Chuck Klein. If David means program director, he must be a radio guy too.
There you go. So we're going to give that away for free, courtesy of Vintage Breaks and Just Collect.
Oh, handsome dude.
So I know it's the end of the show today, and was a few minutes behind, but I did want to just talk about how do I bring this back to the main screen here, J5? Click the little eyeball.
Oh, David's a radio guy. He did bring up the program director.
I'm not sure how to do it.
Oh, no, he does it. Luke does the rest.
Oh, okay. Does all that crazy stuff. Yeah, so hopefully whoever wins that Chuck Klein is going to enjoy that. We're going to probably give out a few more of these cards, maybe another one or two today during our broadcast. The new 1965, excuse me, a new 1965 Topps baseball set break, which the gang's going to show off some of the highlights in just a few minutes. I did want to give a shout out to my son Crosby, and really, all the other kids. Try not to become too mushy. I'm good at that. I was down at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia earlier this week with him for an appointment. And when I say an appointment, he had appointments all day.
Yeah.
He's a brave little boy, along with a lot of the other boys and girls that are in there. And so, I realize that it's March. A lot of people start thinking about, making donations to a particular charity in November or December, around Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday in particular you celebrate. But, I would tell you that, when you're going to, Children's Hospital and, you're going there even just to visit, let's say, someone else. So if it's a friend of the family and they have a son or daughter there, or if it's a cousin and they have, a son or daughter in there, it's not any different, candidly, than me going in there with Crosby. And what I mean is that when I'm in there, Greg had been talking, for example, like about a fraternity today.
Yeah.
I really do believe this, and I'm trying very, very hard to stay, unemotional about it. But, like in a minute, I could probably be a good actor because I could turn it on in a second if I had to. But the reality of it is, my heart goes out to each and every one of the people that are there because they all have a story.
Yeah.
And so just keep that in mind, like when you're, doing your day job or, like I had tennis this morning, for example, and, I'll tell you like, hey, maybe I would have hit that shot better. I wish it was in better shape. And listen, a lot of these things are in our control, whether it be it's work or personal for fitness or eating or what have you. And this is not a motivational speech, although it may sound like it. There's a lot of kids out there, just like at CHOP, for example, but I'm sure children's hospitals all across, not just our country, but across the world, that would literally kill just for that opportunity. So just keep that in mind tonight when you're sitting down for dinner, or relaxing or whatever the case may be. And,
and the stakes are never higher with a child, and this is God's work. And these people do it so well and just help out families that have unbelievable burdens.
Yep. So anyway, just wanted to special shout out to Chop, and Crosby lost his tooth was it 2 days ago? And I want to make sure the Tooth Fairy visited yesterday. Crosby was very pleased with the deal that was made.
Was he?
Yes, he was. The deposit's been made in the piggy bank. And it's funny because he was trying to do the math and he was, I don't want to spoil anything in case he happens to be watching. So I doubt he is, but let's just say he was very, very happy. And, enjoy the rest of your day today. Stay tuned for Vintage Breaks North. Will be coming on right now till 9:30 Eastern time with Sam, J5, Dougie, Emily, and the rest of the gang here, including yours truly. And then tonight is 9:30, so Vintage Breaks West will take over. Forgot today was Wednesday. And tomorrow, Vintage Breaks South will start broadcasting at about 1 o'clock Eastern time. So we have a lot of great content coming up over the next day or so, and hopefully soon be revealing our next athlete break experience.
Ooh.
Brought to you by Vintage Breaks.
Very nice. Thanks for everybody for showing up today. Just share it with your friends. We'll see you next week.
Take it easy, all. There's Chuck. You want to give it away?